Warzone. Yes, this is a Halo video, but I'm not talking about the Halo 5 game mode. I'm talking about the current state of the community. In the past few days since I posted my last video regarding 343 Industries' missteps with the franchise and their rapid expansion of the universe, I've experienced a side of this community that I didn't even know existed. And it's an ugly one. If you haven't watched my last video, I'll link it in the description, but to give you a brief summary, I suggested that 343 is doing a poor job of implementing the story in the games themselves, despite being more respectful to the lore than Bungie was. This respect for the lore has become problematic, as 343 focuses more and more on universe building in other medias such as books and TV shows, and the stories in the games become more disconnected, and they continue to lack more and more features that are expected in mainline Halo releases. 343 continues to see great response from lore fans on these different medias despite the dip in game quality in recent years. Enough on that video. It's a long one, so I'll link it in the description. And through the feedback of that video, I found a part of the community that is particularly nasty. A minority of the Halo community cannot stand or will not allow the perspective I conveyed in that video. To many lore enthusiasts, 343 and the Halo franchise is infallible despite its abundant inconsistencies, some even created by 343 themselves. Many resent much of Bungie's time with the franchise due to their lack of lore implementation in-game, despite the Bungie entries clearly being the better games. Let's be clear, Bungie made the better games, and the franchise in this community was in a better place when it was under their control. The meta scores don't lie. Even if you disagree with Metacritic, just think back to how positive this community was. Rather than having infinite YouTubers speaking out about its issues, yes, that includes me, content creators were plentiful, forging away and making machinimas.
What?
Gears of Halo Theft Auto 5!
That sounds cool!
Halo truly was an agreeable community, with endless possibilities to create in the Halo sandbox and modes Bungie provided. Despite many other issues with recent Halo releases such as lacking features, modes, and drastic art style changes, we're focused on story and canon today. Halo 5's story was lackluster, and that's mostly a consensus in the community. Blue Team's jarring introduction to the games and Cortana's questionable return were story beats panned by many. My argument is simply that a great, complete Halo game must be made before these additional medias are produced. I personally will not express interest in spin-offs if the base product is lackluster. Some of the die-hard lore community members will quite literally eat up any content 343 pumps out, no matter the quality. Some are able to disregard the unimpressive recent games and find solace in the books or comics. That is absolutely fine and good for them. I wish I was able to be that forgiving and move on from recent lackluster games. I don't want to ruin anyone's fun with that content, but it becomes a problem when they treat the entirety of Halo as the Holy Bible and will not accept critiques by other members of the community. This minority has conformed to 343's rapid, unnerving lore expansion and have accepted this new take on the franchise, with 343 insisting it is now an entertainment franchise, rather than a game franchise. Halo is lots of things to lots of people, but it is undeniable that it was created by a game studio.
So welcome to the wonderful world of Bungie.
And what makes the expanded universe possible today is the success of those games. The game franchise is at a low point right now. Controversy is rife in the community, and if we disagree on all these pieces of the franchise, 343 is going to have a tough time digging themselves and the community out of this hole. The basic argument that I've seen over and over takes place between two parts of this community: the lore obsessed and the game heavy. Why these two have so much contention is beyond me, but it continues to happen. The lore obsessed are happy with the current state of Halo and the ability to enjoy the franchise in countless forms. The game heavy are disappointed in 343's inability to match Bungie in game development prowess and innovation because they're focused on so many different forms of content. Apparently, the key to winning debates in this community is by asking more and more questions despite being very clear on stating your stance. It's like talking to little kids and they just keep saying, "But why? What makes you feel that way? But why?" just to spite you. Or they sometimes just blatantly ignore the opposition's points. You know what? This is what people do in most internet debates. Despite being a minority, this aggressive part of the community is often the most vocal, as they shut down a silent majority, and this is often just as dangerous as if they were the majority. As I said, this franchise, whether you consider it an entertainment franchise or a game franchise today, the foundation was set by the games. The games made all the other different forms of media possible. At the end of the day, we don't have to agree on everything Halo. The disagreements are far too countless at this point for that to even be possible. However, the lore-obsessed party in this great Halo debate need to be more accepting and respectful of the game-heavy opinions in their feedback, because it may just be the key to Halo's survival and revitalizing this franchise in the future. Thanks for watching, everyone. Let me know your thoughts in the comments, whether you agree with me or not on the state of the community, and check out some of my other videos if you want. I also wanted to give a quick shout out to GrimBrother1 from 343 Industries. He reached out to me on Twitter and told me he watched my last video, actually, and he was a really good sport and responded to my criticisms in that video really well, and I really appreciate that. It just goes to show what 343 is trying to do with the community, and hopefully this transparency and the back and forth with the community continues into the future of the franchise. Thanks for watching, guys. I'll see you in the next one.